Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Peter O'Toole. I'm the Head of Support and Counselling with Fighting Blindness. I'm here today to talk to you for 20-25 minutes about the support service itself and specifically how we've adapted that service over the last 7 or 8 months as well. So back on March the 12th this year, myself and the team found ourselves, along with everybody here today, in pretty much uncharted territory with the arrival of COVID-19. So we all quickly had to adapt to working from home after closing the office in Ely Place in Dublin. Our counselling service, which most of you will be familiar with, had been traditionally delivered on a face-to-face basis in the office in Dublin and also in the border counties through our Need to Talk project. A lot of people would already have availed of counselling by telephone, but we immediately worked to transfer the service entirely to phone-based services. And by and large, that's proved to be a real success. We've been busier than ever before, and a lot of people reaching out looking for that extra emotional support, which we're able to offer by telephone, and in the hope of a possible and eventual return to face-to-face in Dublin and in the border counties. One particular concern we did have was regarding our members and our service users and how to keep people connected with their peers and the friends they'd made through Fighting Blindness over the previous years and months. We already had a number of support groups and special interest groups, the majority of those being based in Dublin, in Ely Place, with a few also being run in Cork. Suddenly then, these options for people to regularly link in with others, to learn new skills, have a chat, be supported by their peers, that all of a sudden appeared to be pretty much a lost option for us. So what we decided to do is to take some positive action, come up with a solution, and we started looking at using Zoom. So I think like most of you here and the rest of the world, none of us had a huge amount of experience with Zoom, which is similar to most of the people we were engaging with. So we knuckled down, we learned as much as we could about it, we bought the licenses, and we started initially running our technology exchange club on Saturdays, on Mondays on Zoom. So that would be our groups of people who come together to learn about technology, assistive technology, how to use your smartphones, and so on and so forth. That was a pretty regular group, so we started with them. We then followed through with the peer support groups, including our newest group for partners, and then we followed up with the mindfulness sessions. So one of the major challenges that we were facing was not to just jump onto a new way of doing things and expect all of our group members and clients and service users to just fall in line with us. So what we started to do was we offered individual and group training on Zoom to get people comfortable with using the system. And we didn't want anybody to shy away from something they previously enjoyed or close off those groups to people who might be new to them because they weren't comfortable with using Zoom or they hadn't got that experience. So far, we've provided the training to over 250 people, and pretty much the final result took us all by surprise. So in addition to the regular groups staying together, we actually saw a huge increase in people reaching out to us, not just from Dublin, but from all over the country. So some of the groups have seen an increase of up to 400%. And if we're going to be honest, the success has brought its own challenges in managing such a large increase, but we are really lucky to have a great team with us, and we have some exceptionally dedicated volunteers who I'd like to express our gratitude to now that we couldn't do without them and we couldn't run the groups without them. So that's always very much appreciated. So as more people linked in with us and we got an overall picture of how isolation and a lack of connection was impacting the community, we started to add a number of new services to responsibly meet those needs. We started our weekly coffee mornings, a border counties peer group, 2 new peer support services, one for young adults and one for parents. And a recent development is the moving of our face-to-face Living with Sight Loss course onto virtual delivery through Zoom, which has provided opportunities for learning and peer interaction to people from all over the country and not just the border counties where we originated it from in the first place. So A lot of different services going on, from counselling to peer support, technology, mindfulness, living with sight loss. But that's just the practical side of things. So in order to kind of get the opinions and the insights gained from the people who've actually used the services, I'd like to maybe take some time now to talk to a few of the people around the country who've been interacting with us over the last few months. Some of them for the very first time, and some of them who've been with us for years as well. So if you just bear with me, I'll invite all the guys in, introduce them, and we can have a chat about what's been going on for them over the last 7 months. Hello everyone, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
So glad we got you all in without a glitch. So good morning to everybody. To Marion, Helena, Jackie, and Connor, and thanks very much for sharing your time with us today. Maybe just work around and get you just to briefly introduce yourselves as well. Who you are, where you're from, your current situation. Maybe start with yourself, Marion.
Oh, thank you, Peter. You're so kind. Good morning, everybody. My name is Marion Maloney, and I live here in the beautiful west of Ireland in Galway City. And I've been visually impaired all my life, would have been involved with RP Ireland fighting blindness back in the day, the very, very early days of fighting blindness. Wasn't a cane user, a guide dog owner back in those days, but did my long cane mobility in 2000 and went on to get my first guide dog in 2009 and have my second guide dog now. So quite a difference in being a cane user and being a guide dog owner. We don't have the time to go into that today, but yeah, I'm quite happy with my guide dog, and he makes me get out for a walk. So that's me.
Thanks very much, Marion. Connor, maybe if I could just jump to yourself. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Connor Lennon. I'm living out in Cullen in County Louth. Unlike yourself, I'm very new to sight loss. I was declared blind just in June of the summer just gone by, so just during the whole COVID lockdown kind of stuff. Since then, I've just been kind of training. I'm training at the moment with long cane, and I'm just getting back to doing what I can do.
Great, Connor. Thanks very much. Jackie, hi.
Hi, good morning, Peter. I'm Jackie. I'm from Sligo, originally Donegal. I lost my sight over 25 years ago, but I've been recently diagnosed with RP. I'm working a second dog, we call it Rum. So yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Jackie. And Helena, last but definitely not least, hiya.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Helena. I'm from Leitrim originally, but living in Dublin the last 5 or 6 years now, maybe. Doesn't seem that long, but it is. And I have RP. I was diagnosed about 10 years ago, so I'm 23 now. And I've been involved with fighting blindness pretty much since I've been in Dublin, so the last 5 or 6 years.
Thanks very much for joining us. I suppose the easiest way for me to work around the different services and get all of your inputs is to maybe, I suppose, start at the beginning of the week. We have our technology exchange clubs. The core group meet on Saturday, and obviously they're open to people from other parts of the country, and the Dublin one on Monday. Marion, maybe ask you, you've recently been involved with the Technology Exchange Club. Could you give us an idea maybe of what you've picked up or what you've learned from being with them, or what the benefits have been?
I think definitely, Peter, the benefit is that my confidence has grown when it comes to technology, because unlike Jackie is a very techie person. I don't know about Helena and Connor, but technology scares the living daylights out of me, and I'm always afraid to try new things. As my son says to me, it's not going to blow up, ma'am, but definitely being part of the exchange group. I was really frightened when I first heard about it. I knew about it, I have to say, a couple of years ago, but never had the courage to kind of link in. But again, lockdown has done that for me. I picked up the phone and joined. I link in with the Dublin group and the Cork group, not every week, but from time to time. I have asked my questions, but definitely there are people there who have great technology expertise, and then there are the beginners like myself. So everybody is welcome. There's nobody thinks they're better than the other one, and it's great to be able to talk to the people that are using the technology that you need to use as well. So there's always something you can pick up.
That's great. And you haven't blown anything up yet, Marion, no?
Not yet, no, thank
Oh,
God.
okay, well, there you go. So, yeah, you can tell your son he was right, huh? That's great. Thanks very much. And I suppose in terms of learning new things and you know, pulling new skills together, Connor, we met you first. You joined the 5-week Living with Sight Loss course that we'd originally hoped to hold physically in Drogheda and then open that up virtually through Zoom. So that's a 5-week course. Could you maybe give us an idea of what got covered there, or how you found the course?
Yeah, well, the course was great. So, like, when I was like diagnosed in June, I kind of didn't know what to do myself, but my partner Aoife started looking into everything, and she found the Living in Sight Loss group. And I'm not gonna lie, when she put me onto it, I was kind of like, right, let's get going with this. But everything that I got from it, like, it's opened up everything. Like, I know it was a basic introduction to living with sight loss, but from that, like, I got the counselling services, I got the training with mobility. Like, there was a great talk between the long cane units and the guide dog units. I remember Miriam saying it was something at the start, and it was very interesting to listen and talk to and about each other.
Yeah.
And even like taking from like the tech help, which was covered in the course as well. Like, I would have been good with tech, but then I had to relearn everything again because it was doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
So there was days, say, on tech, there was days on, say, counselling, there was days on mobility, there was days on even like the basic stuff of getting around the house, or like little things you learn, or use. Some of the guys here will probably know loads about it, but when you're coming just into it,
Yeah.
even the basics of it, say the little bump-ons that you stick onto things to make things more easy to kind of find, it was those kind of little hints and tips and things that made everything a lot easier to get through. And with the course, it opened up loads. Like, there's probably like that one course that I did there has probably opened up 10 other courses that I'm doing at the moment that are
Great to
helping me
hear.
get through the rest of the stuff.
And I think, you know, I mean, you mentioned there, you know, it is a relatively new experience for yourself, and the challenges arose for you earlier on this year. But the benefit of linking in with, you know, like in this room here today, people who've been at different stages and have been living with sight loss or visual impairment for quite a while. So it's that range of experience, and I think as much as, you know, you learn from it, people also give to it as well, which is always lovely to see in terms of people's spirit of helping each other out, you know.
Yeah, very much so. Like, there was myself and say 3 other people that were quite new to it, and then say 2 or 3 other people that had been with it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And listening to what they were saying, and like even how they fought from the start, when it was something quite new, that sight loss, someone that had a sight loss, it was a little bit different, and all the kind of things they had to fight for and all the different things that they went through over the last 20, 30, 40 and 50 years and how it's changed. It was just kind of cool to see that we're actually probably coming in at a good time to be starting to have a sight loss, because it seems to be quite well looked after now.
That's great. Thanks very much for sharing, Connor. Jackie, I know you've got an involvement with a number of different groups from up there in Sligo. Maybe you could give us an idea of the coffee morning. So that's one of our new services as well. So coming on since last April as well. I know you regularly attend that. Could you maybe give us an idea of what a coffee morning looks like with yourself and the bunch there?
No, it's whenever lockdown happened, that's the first time I felt my disability. It was very lonely, vulnerable time. I had no access to my family, no nothing. The come on to something like connections it's a laugh. You know, anything and everything is discussed. There's kind of no holds barred. And it's a way of, like, I would have known people on that who would be in the tech club, other people from the local Sligo group. But I've now made friends with these people, you know, that there is a definite connection there that has really seen me through this, and it's going to see me through now the next lockdown as well. But you don't feel alone whenever you can go on there on a Tuesday and then talk to people during the week, and then we have opportunities to have speakers in to come and talk to us, which is great. Kind of get asked questions, it's a brilliant experience, and we're a welcoming lot. Like, there could be anything from 10 people to 20, you know. There's been, and we're very welcoming.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. When no one's there, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's look, having been in with you on a few occasions as well. I mean, there really is there's a very nice casual vibe there as well, and you could spend the whole day, the whole morning as such, talking about, swapping recipes or what, a good book, or sometimes complaining about the state of the country, or sharing local stories, or gossip. So
Yeah, absolutely. And once they stop, you're kind of going, it's over now. That you could really, it feels like one of the things you could really talk for, to stay on for hours, like,
yeah,
if you're really into the conversations, like, and so it is, and it's so vital at this particular time. It's so vital to have those connections with people.
That's great, Jackie. Thanks. And I think, as you said, the important thing is, it may be for an hour and a half, on a Tuesday as well, but the connections and the friendships made mean that may well often link in with somebody outside of those times, or form your own particular groups. And at the same time, somebody who you know particularly well at the coffee morning, you might link in with them in mindfulness on the Wednesday, or in a peer support group later on in the week. So thanks for that. Helena, hiya.
Hi.
Yeah, you're I know you've been involved in a number of different groups, but more recently we started our a pilot service for young people aged 18 to 30. So maybe you give us an idea of how far you're on with that group, and what you do with that group.
Yeah, so the group is piloting for 12 weeks. I think we're entering into week 5 now this week. And it's great. It's been really great to be able to link in with and build connections with people who are in my age group. So one thing that I really missed out on when I was diagnosed in my early teens, was being able to identify and relate with people who were my age. And that diagnosis, I was still in Leitrim at that point. So I was in the countryside, I was isolated, it was very lonely. I didn't know anybody at all with sight loss, let alone somebody my age. Yeah. So it's been really great, especially in this time with the pandemic, to be able to link in with people and just have a chat. So we meet once a week on a Thursday evening for about an hour and a half. And any topics from cooking to college to sight loss comes up. Yeah. A bit of a laugh, and hopefully I think it's going to continue to run after the pilot as well, so monthly, which is great. So it's been great for building friendships, meeting new people. I think I've really opened up to new perspectives and thinking as well. Seeing other people's journeys and where they're at and how they're dealing with things has been eye-opening.
That's great to hear, and thanks so much for letting us know about it. I know that Particular peer support group was something we've been angling towards for a long time as well, and with any of the groups, in talking to all of you there, and even the groups we haven't spoken about today, I think it's always important to remember that every group is the sum of all the group members as well. So absolutely everybody involved, from the facilitators to the organisers to the participants, everybody plays a part in making that what it is. And finally, Helena, I know you've been involved with the Visionaries choir for a number of years, and unfortunately our Visionary School and the choir, with the closure of Eli Place as well, how have you been getting on? Are you still taking the show online? Yeah.
Yes, I have to say I have huge respect and admiration for the conductor Frank and his daughter Rebecca, because they've really worked hard to try and get us to be able to continue the choir. It's so important for the people involved, and they get so much out of it. So it's still running. It's running virtually on Saturday morning through Zoom from 10:30 to 12:30. And now that it's virtual, it's easier for anybody across the nation to join in as well. So we're always looking for new members. So kind of holds a special place in my heart, the choir, because it's the first group that I joined when I in Fighting Blindness, and the first group of people I ever came across with sight loss. So it's the first time I really felt that I related to people, and these are, I don't know, my kind of people in a way. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous, but it just, I remember walking in that morning and feeling a weight off my shoulders, and just, it was really, really nice. So
Thanks so much, and look, great to know that the show goes on as well. And look, and you know, to try and be optimistic as well. Hopefully, the time will come when you're all singing under the one roof again, and that we'll all get to meet. But look, in finishing up, you know, today, I suppose that aspect, you know, like you're all from different parts of the country originally, and you're all living in different parts of the country as well. Could I ask you, you know, has meeting up with people outside of your own geographical area, has that been something that struck with you, or has that been helpful to meet with others than the usual crowd?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's really important to be able to establish connections across the island. It's such a small country. And I think there's a lot to learn from people, from sharing their experiences and perspectives from across the country. I think it's really important. It's, you know, had this pandemic happened 30, 40 years ago, we wouldn't be able to connect with people like that. So the technology has just been so great for people with sight loss to be able to do that and connect with people across the nation.
Cheers. And Marion, you're over there in the West. I know you have a number of groups who have been quite established before, but I mean...
Great to see these three ladies from the West of Ireland. I mean, I know Helena in Dublin, but she's a West of Ireland girl at the end of the day, aren't you, Helena?
Oh, always.
But I'd just like to say a very sincere thank you to the staff in Fighting Blindness for your support over the last number of months. And you've heard me say this before, Peter, do not forget us now post-COVID, that we would be hoping, we would be hoping, and I would be appealing to the board and management of Fighting Blindness that they keep this up, because transport is such an issue for us when we can't get around the country. And I mean, even on the different groups, you know, we were having the chats about, oh, you know, down the road we'll have the weekend away and we'll have the walking groups again and we'll all get to meet each other. But, you know, we know so many people now around the country. It's been a lifesaver, I think. And like the guys have said around the table today, you know, we can all learn so much. I was diagnosed at the age of 12, which is quite a long time ago. And, you know, there wasn't supports and services back then. And I'm absolutely blown away now that the young people, and to hear Conor and Helena talking there about the supports that are there for them that I didn't have. You know, when I was diagnosed, I lived from the age of 12 to the age of 40 thinking blindness was blackness and that was it. And I was scared of my life, you know. So I think these conversations are so important. They're really brilliant. And thanks again to Fighting Blindness.
Thank you all so much. Jackie, yes, sorry, go ahead.
I'd echo what Marion said. Like, whenever I lost my sight, I had to go on local radio to get help because there was nothing available in Donegal. So like kind of I've literally been lost now without Fighting Blindness. Know the fact that there's something on every day, that it's something to connect into every day, something to look forward to every single day. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Can I just add a point as well that I think is important to establish, is I think sight loss and mental health go hand in hand, and I think being able to connect with people across the country through technology and through these virtual online weekly meetings, I think has been really important. I know personally for me with my mental health, it's been really important to be able to weekly meet up and socialise with people. And I'm sure this is the case for many people across the country. So to anybody who's listening today and this morning, I would encourage people to get on the phone and find out what's going on in Fighting Blindness and what group sounds like your cup of tea, and give it a go. Because that's so isolating.
And look, I mean, and again, you know, just to get the message out there, and I know everyone here knows this as well, but you know, to let people know that we're not going anywhere, and all it will ever take is a call or an email to let us know what your situation is, and we can maybe let you know what's there. And with regards to anything, you know, sometimes people try it on the once and realize that they like it. Maybe people don't have the time commitment and they just dip in and out as they need it as well. But I just really like to thank all four of you today. I think you really kind of exemplified that spirit of digging in together and being you know, being there to assist other people and willing to give things a go. So really appreciate you joining us this morning, and just to say thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.